Our Wendy's female high school athlete of the week. Her name is Belle Kennedy. She is a junior for Washburn Rural Soccer and a team leader, just filling up the stat sheet throughout the year this year, leading the Junior Blues in goals with 11 this season, 9 assists to tie for the team lead as well, helping Washburn Rural get to another Centennial League title. And Belle, let's just start there with the team accomplishments and 41 consecutive league victories now for the Junior Blues. When you take a step back and remember that you're a part of that and a major part of that, what's just kind of your feeling when you take it all into account?
I mean, I feel great. I mean, to know that I'm making an impact for the team, and as a team, we are doing well. It's a good accomplishment to know that when we go into playoffs, we're going to have a good start.
You've obviously been with the program now for several years as a junior and throughout your junior season now near the end of it. How have you kind of seen this current group you guys have develop, and including yourself, but also your teammates? How have you seen your team grow over the past 3 seasons?
So starting my freshman year, we were a very direct team. We played very, very easy through balls, just immediately trying to get corners. And this year I've noticed we are a very possessive team, and we can possess the ball easily and break down players one by one. And we can attack the defense. A lot of our goals have come from set plays, but we've also gotten a lot of goals from just dribbling into the box and taking players on. And as myself, I've noticed myself become more confident in taking people on and getting those chances. And then along with playing our 4-4-2, it's so different from other teams that it puts them at disadvantages.
We're talking to Belle Kennedy, a junior soccer player for Washburn Rural, the Centennial League champion Washburn Rural Junior Blues. She is our Wendy's female high school athlete of the week. Let's talk about some of those gaudy statistics I mentioned at the top. 11 goals on the season to lead the Junior Blues, 9 assists tied for the team lead as well. Do you take a lot of pride in some of those statistical accomplishments, or is it just whatever it takes to win, you're happy to do?
I mean, for myself personally, yes, I pride myself in the goals and all the assists, but I feel like as a team, it matters more whether we win, because overall, whether we get the win or not, it really depends if we move on.
You were talking about how the team has developed and how you've kind of developed over the course of your career so far and this season. Give us a little bit of a scouting report on Belle Kennedy. If you were to tell someone, give another coaching staff, another player, the scouting report on you, how would you describe your game to us?
I probably describe myself as a very aggressive player, and I'm not afraid to take on people who are bigger than myself, because that's obviously who I deal with most of the time, me being about 5'3". But, I mean, I show myself that I'm a competitive player and that I want to win. I'm not a player who's scared to go against somebody else, and I'm not like I don't let my emotions get the best of me when I'm going against somebody else.
Is that a trait, that kind of aggressiveness and that kind of tenacity, is that something that took some time to develop, or ever since you've been playing soccer, has that kind of been your hallmark?
That's kind of been ever since I've been playing soccer. I mean, I've always been super, super energetic and always wanted to go at people, and being so competitive, I think, helps me play.
So a couple questions to build off of that point right there. One, how long have you been playing soccer? Has this been something you've done since you were very young? Is it something you didn't pick up until you got to Washburn Rural? And also that kind of competitive edge, where does that come from? If it's something you've always had, what sort of was the catalyst for that earlier on in your life?
Growing up, I've always been extremely competitive within my family. Like every time I'm going against my dad or my little brother, I'm always trying to one-up them. And then I've actually playing soccer ever since I was about 8. I actually used to play keeper for like the longest time until I actually found the center mid, which now I feel like is the most comfortable position to play in for myself. But no, there's that competitive aspect and being super, super aggressive. I feel like I've definitely developed because of my parents and my brother.
A couple more questions for Belle Kennedy, a junior for Washburn Rural Soccer. She is our Wendy's female high school athlete of the week. Really quickly, before we get on to some future stuff and the postseason and all of that, what made you make the switch from being a goalkeeper to playing that center mid, like you said?
Well, when I played club in California, I was the keeper, and I had actually like sprained my ankle, and that's how my career started as a goalkeeper. But we had a backup keeper, and he, for fun, just put me out on the field and noticed that I was actually way better on the field than I was in a goalkeeper, because I had that aggressive ability and just like always wanted to take people on, and just, I mean, it helped me be more competitive and for the team to grow.
You mentioned starting out in California, and when you moved from California to Kansas, can you kind of just take us through what it was like, just that, that time in your life in general, and in terms of soccer competition, what it was like to move from the West Coast here to the Plains?
So moving from California to Kansas, we were worried because you go from a big city like Los Angeles to a more small town area like Topeka. We didn't think the competition was going to be that extreme. Turns out it's actually a lot better than what it was in California, because the center of the U.S. is the heart of soccer for as far as leagues around. And for my club team, I play all the way out in Overland Park, and we are, I think, at least number 2 in the state. And so honestly, my high school, or no, my California soccer team went from being a very through ball, just kick it up the field, depending on the forwards and just that, to actually being a possessive team who I feel like we can even compete against college teams. I mean, depending on the ones that they are, like D2, like lower D2 and stuff like that for our age level.
Is there anything in particular, soccer-wise or otherwise, that you miss the most about California?
There was a sand soccer tournament that I missed deeply. We played in it every year around May, and it was probably the most fun because all the rules were way different, and just the competition and what you would wear, it was just so unique compared to the rest of the season.
As we look ahead now, Belle, to the rest of this year and the rest of your career, let's start with the postseason this year, possibly a trip to the state tournament. What are your personal and team goals for the rest of this season? What are you hoping that the Junior Blues and yourself are able to accomplish over the next few weeks?
There's not so many more goals in myself other than keep racking my stats up. The main goal I have is to win the state title. I promised Hensel after we lost in the final 2 years ago that I would do everything in my power to win it for him.
And now one last thing for you, even beyond this season, beyond next season even, we've talked about how you played soccer for a long time. You've always had that competitive nature. Is soccer something you hope to do when you leave Washburn Rural, when you go on to the college ranks? Is it something you would like to continue to do once you get beyond high school?
Yes, of course it is. I've actually been talking to a bunch of D1 and D2 schools locally and on the East Coast about playing for them. It's just, for me, I feel like soccer has just been such a big part of my life that I could not live without it further into college. So,
Well, she's been dominating the pitch so far this season, 11 goals, 9 assists, and a Centennial League championship for Washburn Rural. Her name is Belle Kennedy, a junior for Washburn Rural Soccer, and she is our Wendy Female High School Athlete of the Week. Belle, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for us today. It's much appreciated, and best of luck with the rest of the season and everything that's to come in your soccer career. Thanks so much.
of course, thank you for the opportunity.